Alright, hello. Chainsaw Man chapter 162 just dropped. And we're gonna talk about it, but there's not actually that much to go over this week. The chapter is predominantly an action chapter, so not too much to discuss, I think. But anyways, to get into it, the chapter starts with the Nail Fiend kind of begging for her, I'm not quite sure about the gender, begging for their life. Uh, and also showering Quanchi with some compliments while doing it. Sorry, setting. But anyways, the Nail Fiend compliments Quanchi while begging for their life. But as they're doing that, I'm terrible with pronouns. The Nail Fiend fires some nails at Quanchi, which are blocked. And the katana, the samurai man, does his sonic dash move. Their side B. But Quanchi cuts off his head as he's charging in. So Quanchi is like the Brock Lesnar of the Chainsaw Man universe. Everyone else is just very levels behind her in terms of combat. But Yoru and the Nail Fiend picks up their sword and nail. Yoru turns a scalpel into a sword, and they have a short sword nail fight. But Quanchi kicks Yoru in the chest or the stomach and kicks her into a wall, and then stabs the Nail Fiend a couple of times. She then moves to cut down Nobana, because children, she don't care about them, apparently now, but Nobana shields himself with Denji's head. And the sight of Denji's head intimidates Quanchi and makes her stop in her, swing, mid-swing. The eye patch Devil Hunter kind of continues to order Quanchi to kill them, but Quanchi reminded herself that an old friend warned her to not make an enemy out of Denji. So the old friend might be Kishibe because he truly understands how demented Denji can be in terms of how messed up his mental is and like how far he's willing to go to, get back at people. But Quanchi may not necessarily be referring to Denji here, because Quanchi is pretty old. And sometimes the devils, the hybrid devil fiends, whatever, they can retain their memories. Like how being remembered that the bomb and the gun devil were allies in a previous incarnation. So Quanchi could be referring to how terrifying Pochita could be, and another devil could have warned her about that in the past. But anyways, we move on to the eye-patched Devil Hunter. He is losing his shit, and he's having a tough time here because Quanchi is not listening to him. He reminds Quanchi that the public safety, they have Quanchi's lovers' bodies, and he threatens to throw them away. So I like to take a little time to celebrate here because I kind of called this part last stream and the stream before that. But my celebration is short-lived because I was mostly wrong. So the translation here isn't exactly clear that if the fiends are alive or not. Because bodies, I guess it kind of implies that they're dead. Like 80% implies that they're dead. But the word bodies, I feel, isn't the most clear form. Because in the original translation, it's a lot more like 100%. So the translation pretty much, or the original pretty much, is pretty clear that they're corpses. They're dead. The Japanese here is shitai, so they're dead bodies. So they're dead. So I was not right. And also Quanchi isn't joining Asa and Yoru, unfortunately. Um, but yeah, there's that. So I feel the translators for this chapter could have done a slightly better job. But regardless, moving on. The eye patch man, he's about to get misogynistic, but the chainsaw person that we saw a couple chapters ago, she interrupts and stops him from getting cancelled by stabbing him through the chest with a chainsaw. And this woman was freed a chapter ago, or 2 chapters ago, when the katana man swings at the eye patch man, misses, but hits the door. So the woman eats the eye patch man, and like a zombie would. She chews on his neck, his face, and etc. And there seems to be a consensus among the fans that she is actually the Devil Hunter's wife. And it makes a lot of sense, I think, because this panel here kind of shows it, I guess. Like they're holding hands through a glass panel. Because previously, there's 2 schools of thoughts on their relationship. It's either one that like he was lying about the entire story to buy time, or 2 that she is his wife. And for some reason, the second never occurred to me. I just assumed this was a random woman. So my reading comprehension isn't that good. But anyways, there's also some fans that theorize that the wife is also cheating on the Devil Hunter here, because to turn into a chainsaw, the Chainsaw Man apocalypse was like triggered by mass marriages in the church. So some people theorize that she was also cheating on him in the church, but I don't really think that's true, because not from what I think, not everyone that turned into a chainsaw was part of the marriage pack or even part of the church to begin with. Unless you think this grandma here was getting down, like with a bunch of young men. But anyways, moving on. Quanchi, she gives up. She tells Yoru, Asa, and the gang to kill her and pretend that they killed her. The surgeons here just pleads ignorance, which is Quanchi's theme, and then also a bit of a parallel to when Makima executed Quanchi and the fiends, along with Kishibe's reaction here. So again, ignorance is a big theme of Quanchi's character. But there's also another thing with Quanchi, is the beheading of characters. Because she beheaded Denji. She is now reunited with Denji's head. She was beheaded a couple of times, twice, once by the Darkness Devil, and another by Makima. This was Darkness Devil, and that was Makima. Her fiends, 3 out of 4 of them got beheaded. She got beheaded by Pochita here. And as the chapter ends, Yoru is getting ready to behead her. So Quanchi has a pretty long history with heads. But anyways, the chapter ends with Yoru asking Quanchi if she is stronger than Chainsaw Man. Or actually the other way around. She asks if Chainsaw Man is stronger than her. To which she answers that he is weaker, but more fearsome, which is the title of the chapter. So again, it's a bit ambiguous as to if she is referring to Pochita or she is referring to Denji. But Yoru acts kind of sad, has a sad puppy face here. I guess she wanted to maybe use Quanchi as a weapon if she had replied that she is stronger. But yeah, that's the end of the chapter, and we are actually chapter ends with the facility, the public safety facility. I guess it's to like a cinematic outro as Yoru is beheading Quanchi. I don't really think this shot has any thematic significance. But anyways, the chapter ends, and we are back to bi-weekly schedule. So chapter 163 comes 2 weeks from now. But yeah, again, as I said, kind of a short chapter. But the Twitter thread on the head symbolism gonna go crazy. They might. To be honest, I don't really go on Twitter, so I wouldn't know. But I don't really know if there is like a symbolism here, or rather than just that she enjoys beheading people a lot. Because I'm off the top of my head, I'm not particularly sure what literary symbolism like beheading has. And it's not like she is the only one who beheads people. Personally, I think Fujimoto just really likes to chop off heads. Because he did that with Fire Punch a lot too, and he did that with like other characters. There was a moment where like Reze famously, threw her head, like took off her own head and threw it at the other devil hunters. So I think I think Fujimoto just loves throwing heads around. But yeah, that's about it from me. I'll come back in 2 weeks